I am Nikki Holcomb. I am the creator and owner of Simply Bullies. We've been in American Bullies for about 11 years. We've only been producing American Bullies for about 8. Um, we do a lot in the UKC show scene. We've produced over 100 UKC champions. We have a couple ABKC champions, BRC champions. We do a lot in sports. The American Bully is the only breed I've ever actually been interested in. I do try to study other breeds a lot more and how they do things, which has brought us to doing things very differently in our program than most American Bully breeders do. We definitely run our program more like AKC breeds may be, I guess, compared to other things, especially how most American Bully breeders, like I said, are doing it. As it progressed, obviously it's been accepted by the UKC in 2013. They were classified under the companion group, which I do believe is perfect for them. The American Bully is definitely supposed to be an all-around companion, a dog that you can take out and do whatever your heart desires, whether it be hiking or sports or just hanging out on the couch. They should be an all-around companion and easy to handle, very little to no dog aggression, absolutely no human aggression. Essentially all the things that you love about most bull breeds without a lot of the trials and difficulty of the very high drive or the dog aggression that we see in some of the other bull breeds, a little less stubbornness, a little bit more towards the companion group. I do think they fit a lot of different lifestyles. There is a lot of variance in size. We go all the way down to pocket, all the way up to XL. A lot of people argue that we shouldn't have so many size variances, but I think it's ideal because if you're going to choose a dog to be an ideal companion, some people are going to want a smaller dog and some people are going to want a much bigger dog. So I like that there's a good size variance to fit all different types of homes and families and needs.
And what variants do you breed and handle?
We mostly deal in pockets. We do have a couple classics here and there. We've ended up with 1 or 2 standards, but for the most part, we stick with pocket. Pocket is where I kind of ended up because I'm a very small person. I'm not even 5 foot tall. I don't weigh very much. I need a dog that I can easily handle and pick up if I need to. Plus, I feel like it's just an easier size for a companion. They're not in the way. They're not bothering me. I prefer that size. They're great for the kids. So that's kind of what led us to pocket. I do know quite a few fantastic XL breeders, so absolutely nothing against XLs, but we just prefer the smaller guys.
And as I know it, correct me if I'm wrong, you mainly show in the UKC world.
Yes, I mainly show in UKC currently. I did show in ABKC and BRC for a while in 2018 and 2019. I do judge for the BRC as well, so I try not to show during the same times. If I'm judging one year, then I try not to show that year as well. So we mostly are within the UKC right now. I prefer the kind of their offerings of performance sports. They've got a few more things that the bully registries right now just are not offering yet. They have precision coursing and dock diving and weight pull and just lots of different things to do with bullies. And I really feel like bullies should be able to go in and have fun doing any of these things. So we are definitely mostly focusing within the UKC. We definitely are seeing a little bit of more support, I feel like, coming from the UKC than in previous years lately, as we've been bringing out more dogs and showing that we can have a consistent look. Us and a good handful of other breeders have been trying to attend quite a few shows this year and show them that the American Bully is getting more consistent and does have breeders standing behind it to support it. The UKC's definitely altered the standard recently, which is great. They're trying to support the breed a little bit more, and we definitely appreciate that.
And do they separate the classes as well?
So they just updated their standard to separate bullies into 3 classes. The main difference is they're not going to have them show separately. They just want judges to be aware of the size distinctions. So they have in the standard now listed pocket, standard, and XL. They did not choose to put a classic variation in there. Their main reasoning between that is the classic variety in ABKC and BRC is just a dog with less bone, less mass. They would still put that into standard, and then if it's lacking so much mass and breed type that it doesn't look to be standard anymore or doesn't look to be its breed anymore, then it would just be a dog that lacks breed type versus being a whole nother variety. I think they mainly did that just because it's just variances within the standard. It's not separate classes, so it would be hard to separate those dogs out within judges' education and that kind of thing. So they'll all still show together within the UKC, but judges are aware that this little short dog in the front is a pocket and this very tall dog in the back is an XL, which is going to be a great thing because recently, over the past 2 years, a lot more XL breeders have been coming to UKC and showing, which is fantastic. And judges have been looking at their dogs and saying, why is your dog so big? Why is your dog so tall? Oh my goodness, I've never seen a bully this big. That can't be right. So this is going to be a great thing for XL people to be able to have the judge look at the standard and say, oh, okay, your dog can be that big. Your dog is within the standard. Wonderful. So that's a great step in the right direction for them.
Can you talk about the differences? Let's just break it down between, say, the standard and the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
What is the main difference there, and what are you looking for within your own dog?
So really the only main difference that should happen between a pocket American Bully and a standard American Bully is a height difference. So pocket American Bullies should be 17 inches and under for males and 16 inches and under for females. Anything over 16 inches for females and 17 for males would be considered standard. When it comes to breed type, so the head shape, the characteristics, the temperament, the silhouette, the movement, the coat, all of those things should be the same, whether you're looking at a standard or a pocket. It's just you want to see that height come down a little bit. So in our pockets, we want to see a dog that moves the same as a standard does. It should still have great movement, has the same head shape, the same presence, the same zest for life, just on a smaller frame. We do see a lot of people as they're moving down into the smaller frames, they might lose the structure a little bit. They start paying attention to the height more than they do the rear assembly, the front assembly, and then they end up with dogs that are not very balanced. So we definitely prefer a very balanced pocket, a dog that can still move, that's not restricted, that's not too bulldoggy in type, should essentially just look like a shorter standard.
What are your thoughts on the pocket extreme? Is that something I'm not like I know bullies and I pay attention to a little bit of what I see, but I'm not fully invested into the breed like I am other bull breeds. But
Yeah.
what is there such a thing called the pocket extreme? I've been hearing that a lot with some breeders. And is it a different class in other registries, or what's going on that?
So the BRC does have an extreme class. An extreme would be a dog that is standard height and has very extreme features. ABKC and UKC do not recognize the extreme variety. I think the main reasoning for that is they're not looking to push people towards extreme. I think there's nothing wrong with a very nice extreme bully as long as you're still keeping structure in mind, movement in mind, health in mind. I think that you kind of run down a really windy road whenever you talk about extreme dogs, because a lot of the breeders that are specializing in extreme are choosing to focus on, can we get this dog as big as possible? How much mass can we put on a dog's frame? And not necessarily keeping the structure there or the health there. So it can be a slippery slope. There are a couple breeders that are doing great health testing with extreme dogs, so it can happen. They are out there, but it's definitely not one of the normal varieties for any registry other than the BRC.
How is the American Bully going to gain consistency when each breed, each standard size dog, pocket, standard, XL, have different breeds within them? And how is that consistent look going to happen amongst those different sizes? Going to happen when they're all using kind of different sauces to make the recipe?
So ideally, now that the American Bully is its own established breed, we should be seeing breeders and programs working towards consistency. We shouldn't necessarily see them kind of bringing in their own breeds anymore. Outcrossing to separate breeds shouldn't be happening anymore now that we're moving towards closed stud books. I'm hoping that breeders are looking at the standard and choosing to breed towards the standard rather than just kind of their own personal preference of look. I think that ideally in the next couple years, we're going to get a lot more breeders that are looking to have their dogs be consistent, that are not necessarily looking for the biggest dog, eye-catching dog. They're going to be looking to make this a consistent look across the board. I do think it could be a little more difficult for us because we do have quite a few different size variations. I think some of that's definitely going to come together and be that some breeders are going to have to say, okay, if I'm going to breed the pocket variety, then I need to ensure that my dog is matching the standard, that I'm not going off with just kind of my own vision or my own lane for these dogs. As you said, in some breeds like oldies, they have variants. You can tell that this dog came from this program because of certain traits that they have or certain looks. And I think that that's definitely going to continue to happen within the American Bully as well. Everybody can have kind of their own traits that are, oh, that's an SB dog, or this is a dog from so-and-so, that you can definitely notice and still get consistency where someone can also look at that dog and say, oh, that's a pocket American Bully. I've seen those before. Or, oh, that's a little bit bigger than a pocket. What would you call that? And you can say, oh, this is a standard American Bully. And we've noticed, at least personally, in the past 6 months or so, when we go out, because we go lots of places with our dogs, we go to many different stores, different training outings, different expos. And when we first started attending those things, people would always say, oh, is that a pit bull mix? Is that a Amstaff? Is that an English bulldog? What is that? In the past 6 months or so, we've always had people coming up saying, is that an American Bully? Yes, it is. Oh, is that a pocket American Bully? Why, yes, it is. So people are starting to at least understand the look of the breed. And I think that has a lot to do with that breeders are trying to push for more of that consistency and trying to breed towards the standard. Hopefully in the next couple of years, a lot of the breeders that are trying to just breed their own thoughts or their own visions and not worry about the standard at all are going to kind of fade away. And the breeders that are focusing on consistency can continue to come together. Ideally, in the next year or so, we have the National Breed Club, which will help a lot. I think every breed really needs a national breed club or a national breed association to kind of help set the standards for the breed, to be a group of people that helps everybody participate and everybody vote, so that it's not one registry that's controlling what the standard looks like or what the breeder should be breeding towards. It should definitely be more of a group of people coming together with, bylaws and code of ethics and all of these things that everybody can vote, so that the breed can continue moving forward in a consistent way without it being, oh, I like bullies that look like this, so that's what the whole breed should do. It should definitely be more of a group effort.
What is your ideal standard compared to the UKC, ABKC, BRC, etc.?
So for my personal program, we do mostly breed towards the UKC standard when it comes to structure and mass. The main things that I used to have issue with within the UKC standard for my own personal program is UKC used to have underbites as an eliminating fault, meaning that if a dog enters the ring with an underbite, they're automatically eliminated. They don't get awarded, they don't get points, they're not disqualified, but the judge is not going to be looking at that dog. Didn't agree with this for my personal program because, as we all know, American Bullies have had many bull breeds used to create them, and many of those bull breeds have underbites. We're going to see it pop up. Even if we're breeding towards a correct scissor bite, we're definitely going to see underbites here or there. We may even see a couple overbites here or there. I feel like the ABKC and BRC have the bite standard a little bit more where I would like to focus, which is no more than 1/4 inch of an underbite. I feel like that's it makes sense because we're based on bulldog breeds. It also keeps it from getting too extreme. It's saying, okay, up to 1/4 is acceptable, but anything beyond that is a no. I think this is a companion breed, so we don't necessarily need a good scissor bite. We're not a guardian breed. We're not necessarily doing any bite work or anything like that. I think an underbite is acceptable up to 1/4 of an inch. So within my program, up to that 1/4 will definitely not wash a dog out for an underbite. So that's one thing that's a little bit different. I know in the new update of the UKC's standard, they did list that they're going to change it and it be up to 1/4 eliminating. There's been a couple conflicts there about it being posted that they are and then it being posted that they aren't. So we'll have to wait till January 2nd to see if the UKC does update that section of their standard. The other update that the UKC did do and confirm is, they kind of took out some of the wording that said that the American Bully is a natural extension of the American Pit Bull Terrier. That was kind of confusing judges to think that the American Bully should be more terrier or more lean or, not have all this bulk muscle that they're actually seeing on bullies. So that will help a lot because I do believe that an American Bully should not be terrier. It should not look like an American Pit Bull Terrier. It should not resemble an Amstaff. You should be able to tell just at first glance which one's an Amstaff and which one's an American Bully at any time. I think that's a really important characteristic of our breed type. If you can't tell the difference between a terrier and an American Bully, or you can't tell the difference between an English Bulldog and an American Bully, then the American Bully is lacking somewhere. They should be very distinctly their own thing. So for the most part, otherwise, the registries do kind of align. I think the ABKC is a little bit, Their angles are a little bit off for what I look for my program for front assembly, rear assembly. How they have it worded within their registry is almost mathematically impossible to have on a dog, and that makes it very difficult to breed towards that. So I do prefer the BRC and UKC's front and rear assemblies and how they describe those. But for the most part, they're consistent across the board. We should have a nice level top line. We should have decent shoulder layback. Very few American Bullies have very good upper arm, but ideally people should be breeding towards better upper arm. Nice rear angulation, good turn to the stifle, pump handle tail that reaches down to the hocks. Obviously, tail is not on my top priority list. I would like to see a nice tail, but a little too short or a little too long, personally, is not the end all for me. Nice tight pasterns. I would like to see just tight feet. I know that a couple of the standards say cat feet or oval feet. And while that's a great thing to strive for, personally in my program, I'm noticing as we get these dogs shorter and much heavier, if we goal for cat feet, a cat foot is just not enough to balance a 70-pound dog on that's only 15 inches tall. It just doesn't quite work. So I'm going for nice tight feet that are, maybe not cat feet, but not splayed out, not duck feet, nice, tight, good toes, no splaying toes, no, web toes, nothing like that. And then for movement, I want to see at least moderate reach and drive. Obviously, it's not going to move like a golden retriever. It's not going to move like a Doberman, but I should be able to see a good reach and drive for an American Bully. They should drive good from the rear. I shouldn't be seeing them stumbling or paddling or double tracking. Nice movement's really important to me, because if I'm going to send a puppy to somebody and they're going to be going on hikes and their dog is paddling, that dog is going to be miserable. They're going to exert so much energy just trying to do a normal walk, and I want to be able to send someone a puppy comfortably and say, yes, this puppy can go on a hike with you, or yes, they can go swimming at the lake with you, and them actually be able to do that without being miserable.